We touched on mirror neurons and the dynamics of the group, their leaders, followers, and enablers. We commented on the fact that enablers can be the ones to feed the flames of the agenda. Let us now focus on the role of those who are not in agreement with the leaders' agendas and the role that they play. The approach they may use is to be passive, withdrawn, or complain either publicly or privately. The adversaries may also be outspoken. If they cannot change the situation, they are not very useful except to stir the pot and create more chaos. Words without appropriate outcomes are simply redundant. Usually, members of this group will focus the responsibility onto the leader, enabler, or supporter. They may point to other groups for resolution, whether it is the legal or political system such as elections or political house rules. They may also wait until the whole system becomes so chaotic that change has to occur, but the damage is severe. People in positions for and against a leader are both useless if there are no positive changes. The running of the U.S. government system is perhaps the most significant corporate entity in the entire world. A comment from ZME Science is worth quoting here. It says that Fortune 100 companies use complex psychological screening to select the absolute best matches for senior leadership positions. In this sort of test, psychologists assess communication skills, critical thinking skills, people skills, leadership and motivation, resilience, and the ability to cope with stress and conflict. That's because companies have learned that lousy leadership can cost a lot of money or damage reputation. But while the wrong executive can cost the company millions, a wrong politician could cost a whole country billions of dollars. People's very lives could be at stake, such as declining healthcare, escalating wars, or inadequate education programs. Associate Professor Denise Jepson, an organizational psychologist at Macquarie University, says, "The risk you run at the moment without psychological assessment is that someone who gives a great speech to the pre-selection committee and has done a few months whining and dining the right people may provide a misleading presentation. There is no way to know the skill set of a politician, yet people expect competent performance from politicians across the board. It is essential to accept that the competence of elected politicians will range from excellent to poor. A system is only as strong as the sum of its parts. The U.S., like many countries, suffer from this condition. We waste a lot of time challenging the comments and positions of various politicians. Let us accept that they may range from highly skilled statespersons to just manipulative, incompetent individuals. The voters and general public also play a role in a tragedy or success. Voters in the US have become more polarized in 2020 as they show more aversion to those in an opposing political group. Studies and surveys by research teams led by Arman and later by Niley report that in 1960, only 4% of Democrats or Republicans would be disappointed if their child married someone of the opposite political party. In 2018, this position increased to 45% for Democrats and 35% for Republicans. Most political researchers agree that the media has a significant role in creating hostility. John Jost, a political psychologist, comments that once the three significant networks saw it as their responsibility to objectively cover news events. Then people realized they could cover the news in such a way that they could turn a profit. Today, we have partisan cable news networks and clickbait news websites that feed off political disagreement. They are making money by energizing polarized audiences. We can speak endlessly about what it is in people who justify or motivate them to hold a rigid position. This series aims to give an overview of the situation that the US has come to and how pointing fingers at one another will only make things worse. Christopher Federico, a political psychologist at the University of Minnesota, perhaps summarizes it the best. He says that the 2016 US presidential election took a lot of people by surprise. But while Donald J. Trump's election may have been an anomaly in many ways, it wasn't the unexpected asteroid strike it's often made out to be. Trump's election was the culmination of a trend more than some radical, unexpected disruption on November 8, 2016. It resulted from a long evolution in how and why people in the US identify with various political parties. In the next episode, we will focus on the power of us as individuals. We can be the change we want to see in our world. We need to do our part in this tragedy.